I'm going to ask Miriam to come up because and she has been, as I've said before, such a champion for the victims, but she's also been very aware of all the issues. She served on the drug court task force that I was chair of, where we brought drug courts to really 65 of the 67 counties in this state over the last 10 years. And she has been involved. She isn't just let's lock them up. She wants solutions. She wants people changed, but she certainly wants victims to be represented and the public to be protected. And if we can take a drug addict, make them a productive citizen, or take a young person and make them a productive citizen, we're a lot better off. And Miriam is a lot happier.
I'm going to try my best to call him Judge. To me, he's Pete, but I will try to, out of respect, I'm going to try my best to call him Judge Pete. But I thank you for asking me to come and speak on behalf of victims. And yes, if I have to choose between Jerry Lee Jones being paroled and someone that has a property offense, guess who I'm going to choose? And I do not want the federal government coming in and just letting the, decide that who is going to be out of prison, because Jerry Lee Jones has been in prison about 38 years, and they might decide he just has served long enough. He's got a life sentence, and I think that's what he should serve. As far as why we're overcrowded, at first I thought I would say because of committed crimes. Sit down. But I don't know it's more than that. But the number one issue, I think, is drugs. I know we've had drugs around, and Judge Johnson, you correct me if I am wrong, but I believe the three that killed Quinette, I believe Jerry Lee Jones said they were high on drugs. I believe I remember that. But the sad part about it, the people that are on drugs, they start out doing petty crimes. And they graduate doing, and wind up doing murder. They graduate to a higher level of crime. And if something isn't done, when they start out on drugs, they're going to commit more serious crimes. So, number one, I think drugs are our most serious problems of having people in the prison system. And I also think, Quinette being murdered in 1976 is the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life. And yet, I think I have a black cloud hovering over me because I have had so many crimes committed against me. In my little town of Clio, Alabama, including the prison of Easterling, we have about 1,200 people population, and I was held up with a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun in Clio, Alabama. And he had just been out about 5 months for stealing another little old lady's purse, snatching her, and he was given a split sentence of 5 years to serve 3. And when he held me up at my back door with a double-barrel shotgun, I went to my knees, and I just knew that was the end of my life. And I thought, dear Lord, am I going out of this world the same way Quinette went out of this world? But I just went to my knees, and then I felt something on my arm, and he had more than 3 years in prison because I thought he was going to kill me, and I don't know why he didn't. I just still don't know whether that gun was loaded, and I don't care. It scared me bad enough. And he said, okay. And we're going to trial. I already set the trial, and I was in the courtroom. And the district attorney came by me and he said, I'm going to offer him 15 years to serve 5. Okay? He wouldn't take it. And we went to trial, and guess what he got? and that is because of the habitual offender. He got a life sentence. Now, I have mixed emotions about the habitual offender because I think he should have served more than 5 years. Do I think he should serve as much as Jerry Lee Jones? No. And he's coming up for parole next year, I believe. And I'm trying to settle in my mind, should I say it's okay to prison or say it's whatever decision you make? Or I don't want him back in Clyde because he knows that I'm the one that's keeping him in prison. And I thought about asking him to live somewhere else. And if he hasn't learned anything in prison, I would believe he will kill somebody because I thought he was going to kill me. Do I think the habitual offender has people that are in prison that shouldn't be there because of the habitual offender? Yes. But maybe we should allow the judges to decide that. Another reason I think the prisons are overcrowded, I didn't even notice what time I started. Hold on my shirt. When you first said 6 minutes, I said, what am I going to talk 6 minutes? I can't touch you. We don't have enough parental guidance. Now, I think about the riots in Baltimore. And I think about this woman that came in and was slamming a box at her son because he was in the gang of the riots, and that would have been me. But then Sean Hannity on Fox News made the remark, where was the father? That mother was trying to get him out of that gang, but where was the father? So I don't think when they have enough parental guidance, and I don't think we have enough of guidance in the communities. And the parole officers, even when they are paroled, and the parole board, by the way, I think gets a bomb route. Because they're the only ones that really know from their file what they have done, and they've behaved in prison. And I do believe there are some people in prison, I don't care if they don't have the one disciplinary, that's what Jerry Lee Jones is on the head, should stay in prison. And they base their decisions on how they behave in prison and what crime they committed. All those things go in place. And we do have a good parole board. We screw with them all the times, but all in all, they're a good parole board, more than we've ever had. The revolving door is because we don't have enough parole officers, and that's because of funding. And when you have the Center for Solutions, I have some ideas too, but I'll let them give that discussion. But the funding is the issue. When you have a parole officer that has 200 cases, no wonder we have a revolving door. And when we have funding, and the voters have to, and I'm glad you are having this discussion, because some things that the legislature passes has to be voted on by the public. And a lot of things that they pass, the voters won't agree with. And I'm not going to get on my soapbox of what they are, but somewhere we've got to have some funding. And whether you believe in some of the things that they have passed and asked you to vote on, I think we need to decide whether we want to have a safe environment. And I think that we have an environment even worse than '76 when that was killed. It has gotten to the point that I am so scared to get out of my house after it gets dark. And I get in my house and I lock it up. And I don't want to get out till it's daylight again. And I'd like for all of you, and I appreciate all of you being here and listen to me on my soapbox. But think about the funding when you go to vote. And is it worse to vote for something that you personally are not in favor of because of your religious beliefs? But we have to have some fun. And if you don't have, if you are not in favor of that, come up with a solution yourself. We've got to have some solutions. Thank you.
You need to go on later. I think this is a good prospect for the league membership. All you council members are invited.